Discovery and decision. The Phoenix drifted silently through uncharted space, its sleek hull reflecting the distant stars as it approached the outer rim of the Cygnus Nebula. Captain Maya Reeves stood on the bridge, her dark eyes fixed on the holographic display before her. At 35, she had become one of Earth's most respected deep space explorers, known for her analytical mind and unwavering determination. Yet even she couldn't hide her surprise at what the sensors were detecting. "That can't be right," she muttered, enlarging the anomalous reading with a gesture. "Ilara, run another scan." The ship's AI responded immediately. "Scan complete, Captain. Results unchanged. The planet shows signs of artificial structures despite being classified as uninhabited in all Galactic Council records." Lieutenant Darian Shaw, the ship's science officer, joined her at the display. "The atmospheric composition is unlike anything we've seen before. Heavy concentrations of noble gases, but somehow it's maintaining a stable envelope." Maya nodded slowly. "And those energy signatures, they're faint, but definitely artificial." She straightened her shoulders, decision made. "Prepare a landing party. Full environmental protocols." Hours later, Maya led a 6-person team across the surface of Cygnus 459, a world of wind-swept purple plains and towering crystalline formations. Their environmental suits felt unnecessarily bulky after sensors confirmed the atmosphere, while unusual wasn't harmful to humans. "Readings are getting stronger," Dr. Layla Okafor, the team's xenobiologist, said as they approached what appeared to be ruins of some ancient city. Whatever built this, they had an advanced understanding of crystalline engineering. As they entered the ruins, Maya felt an inexplicable sensation, like being washed. She signaled for the team to halt, her hand instinctively moving to her sidearm. "We're not alone," she whispered. The air before them shimmered, and a translucent being materialized, its body resembling liquid crystal that flowed and shifted in perpetual motion. Light pulsed through its form in complex patterns, and more of the creatures appeared around them, their bodies illuminating the ruins with a soft blue glow. "Incredible," Layla breathed. "Photosynthetic silicon-based life forms. They're literally living crystal." Maya lowered her weapon, sensing no hostility from the beings. "Can we communicate with them?" Before Layla could answer, one of the creatures floated forward, extending what appeared to be a tendril toward Maya. Instinctively, she removed her glove and reached out. When they touched, a jolt of energy coursed through her mind. Not painful, but overwhelming. Images flooded her consciousness. A thriving civilization of crystal beings building magnificent cities, cultivating crystal gardens, developing technologies beyond human understanding. Then came darkness. Massive ships descending from the stars, weapons firing indiscriminately. The crystal people scattered, their numbers dwindling as their world was systematically destroyed. The connection broke, and Maya stumbled backward, caught by Darian before she could fall. "Captain, are you all right?" he asked, concern evident in his voice. Maya nodded, her eyes never leaving the crystal being. "They showed me. They're called the Lumiri. This was their homeworld. They were nearly wiped out in some kind of attack." She turned to face her crew. "We need to report this to Earth Command immediately." Back aboard the Phoenix, Maya sat in her quarters, preparing her report. The Lumiri had communicated more after that initial contact, showing them hidden enclaves where the last few thousand of their species survived. They had once been billions strong, spanning several worlds in this sector. Now they were reduced to refugees on their dying homeworld. The communication console chimed, and Admiral Hernandez's stern face appeared on the screen. "Captain Reeves, I've reviewed your preliminary findings. Remarkable discovery." "Thank you, Admiral. The Lumiri need our help. Their planet's core is destabilizing, a result of the weapons used against them centuries ago. They have maybe a decade before it becomes uninhabitable." The Admiral's expression darkened. "I've already consulted with the Galactic Council representatives. There's a complication. What kind of complication? Sir, the Council claims they were aware of the Lumiri. They're classified as a remnant species, deemed non-viable for integration into galactic society. Maya felt her temperature rising. Non-viable. Admiral, they're sentient beings with an advanced civilization. I understand your concern, Captain, Hernandez said carefully. But the Council has protocols for these situations. They've determined that the resources required to relocate and integrate the Lumiri exceed the benefit. Benefit. Maya's voice was dangerously quiet. They're measuring the worth of an entire species in terms of benefit. The Council represents over 300 species, Captain. They have to make practical decisions. He sighed. Your orders are to complete your survey and move on. The Lumiri situation is regrettable, but not our concern. After the transmission ended, Maya sat in stunned silence. The Galactic Council, the governing body that humanity had worked so hard to join just 50 years ago, was willing to let an entire species die out because saving them wasn't deemed cost-effective. A knock at her door broke her reverie. Dr. Okafor entered, her face grim. You heard. Maya nodded. The Council knew. They've always known. There's more, Layla said, placing a data tablet on Maya's desk. I've been analyzing the genetic structure of the Lumiri. They're telepathic, but it's more than that. They have the ability to store and transfer memories, not just their own, but of anyone they connect with. A species-wide memory bank, Maya murmured. Exactly. And their crystalline structure. It's capable of storing virtually unlimited data. Each Lumiri is like a living library. Layla paused. I think that's why they were attacked. Someone wanted to destroy the knowledge they held. Maya stood, pacing her small quarters, and now the Council wants to finish the job by simply letting them die out. She stopped, turning to face Layla. I can't accept that. The following morning, Maya called a ship-wide meeting. The entire crew of the Phoenix, 63 men and women from Earth, gathered in the main hangar bay. Maya stood before them, her decision already made, but knowing she couldn't make it alone. The Galactic Council has denied assistance to the Lumiri, she announced, her voice echoing in the cavernous space. They've deemed them unworthy of saving. She let that sink in before continuing. I disagree. As does Dr. Okafor, who has discovered the Lumiri possess unique abilities that may have made them targets in the first place. She activated a holographic display showing the Lumiri homeworld. Their planet is dying. Without intervention, the Lumiri will be extinct within a decade. She straightened her shoulders. I intend to help them, with or without Council approval. But I won't order anyone to follow me in this. This is a choice each of you must make for yourselves. For a moment, silence hung heavy in the air. Then Communications Officer Rani Chen stood. The Council doesn't speak for all of humanity, Captain. Count me in. One by one, others rose. Darian Shaw, Chief Engineer Kowalski, Security Chief Toru Nakamura, and dozens more until the entire crew was standing. It seems we're in agreement, Maya said, a tight smile forming. As of this moment, we're initiating Operation Sanctuary. Our mission, to save the Lumiri, whatever it takes. Over the next few days, Maya and her crew worked tirelessly to understand the Lumiri and their needs. The crystal beings couldn't survive indefinitely off their homeworld without special conditions. They required specific radiation frequencies found uniquely in their native star system. Engineer Kowalski proposed a solution. We can design portable habitats, essentially mini-environments that replicate their homeworld conditions. It won't be perfect, but it could keep them alive until we find a permanent solution. Maya nodded. Begin construction immediately. Use whatever resources we have. Meanwhile, Layla had established a more reliable form of communication with the Lumiri. Through a combination of technology and the aliens' natural telepathic abilities, they learned more about what had happened to these peaceful beings. It was the Draconians, Layla reported during a staff meeting. Before they joined the Council, they were conquerors. They attacked the Lumiri civilization nearly 3 centuries ago. The same Draconians who now hold a permanent seat on the council? Maya asked, anger evident in her voice. The very same. And according to the Lumiri memories, the council knew about the genocide but chose not to intervene. They classified it as an internal conflict beyond their jurisdiction. Security Chief Nakamura leaned forward. Captain, if we expose this, we could be facing more than just council disapproval. The Draconians have one of the largest military forces in the galaxy. I'm aware of the risks, Chief, Maya replied. But I can't ignore this. None of us can. She turned to communications. Officer Chen, prepare a secure transmission to Admiral Hernandez. Include all our findings about the Lumiri and the Draconian genocide. Let's see if Earth Command will support us officially before we go rogue. But the response from Earth was disappointing. While sympathetic, the political reality was clear. Humanity couldn't afford to antagonize the Council, not when they were still establishing their place in galactic society. We're on our own, Maya told her officers after receiving the message. Earth won't stop us, but they won't help us either. Darian Shaw spoke up. Then we proceed as planned. The first portable habitats will be ready within 48 hours. We can begin relocating the most vulnerable Lumiri immediately. As they adjourned, Layla held Maya back. There's something else you should know. The Lumiri have shown me more memories. About us, about humans. What about us? We're not the first humans they've encountered. A century ago, before our official first contact with alien life, a lost Earth ship stumbled upon this sector. The Lumiri helped them repair their vessel and sent them home. Why didn't they ask for help then? Their world wasn't dying yet, and they sensed humanity wasn't ready for the knowledge they possessed. Layla hesitated, but they remember us, Maya. They've been watching our development. They chose to reveal themselves to us now because they believe we're different from the other Council species. Different how? They believe we still value life over politics, that we might help them when no one else would. Layla's eyes were intense. They've placed their faith in us, in humanity. Maya felt the weight of that trust settle on her shoulders. The Lumiri, a species far older and in many ways more advanced than humanity, had placed their last hope in them. Not in the powerful Galactic Council, not in the hundreds of other spacefaring civilizations, but in humans, the newcomers, the upstarts of the galactic community. Then we won't let them down, she said firmly, no matter what it costs us. As the Phoenix crew began their unauthorized rescue mission, Maya knew they were crossing a line from which there would be no return. They were defying the Galactic Council, risking Earth's standing, and potentially making powerful enemies. But looking at the shimmering forms of the Lumiri, witnessing their quiet dignity in the face of extinction, she knew it was worth it. Humanity had found its moral test in the stars, and Maya Reeves was determined they would pass it. Defiance and sanctuary. Word of the Phoenix's unauthorized mission spread quickly. Within a week, a Galactic Council observation vessel appeared at the edge of the system, maintaining distance, but clearly monitoring their activities. Captain Maya Reeves refused to acknowledge their presence, focusing instead on the evacuation efforts that had already begun. Habitat Modules 1 through 7 are operational, Engineer Kowalski reported. We've successfully relocated 300 Lumiri so far. Maya nodded, studying the holographic display of their progress. How are they adapting? Better than expected, Dr. Layla Okafor replied. Their ability to alter their crystalline structure has helped them adjust to the artificial environments. But they're still vulnerable during transport. The ship shuddered suddenly, klaxons blaring as emergency systems activated. Status report, Maya demanded, already moving toward the bridge. Lieutenant Darian Shaw's voice came through the comm system. Captain, to the bridge, immediately. We've got incoming vessels, Draconian military cruisers. By the time Maya reached the bridge, the situation had deteriorated further. 3 sleek, predatory ships had entered the system, their weapon systems active and locked onto the Phoenix. They're hailing us, Communications Officer Chen announced, her fingers flying over her console. On screen, Maya ordered, straightening her uniform. The main view screen flickered to life, revealing the reptilian features of a draconian commander. His scales shimmered with iridescent patterns that denoted his high rank. "Human vessel," he began without preamble, his voice a harsh rasp. "You are in violation of Galactic Council Directive 15-3A. Your unauthorized interference with the classified remnant species designated Lumiri must cease immediately." Maya stepped forward, her expression composed despite her rising anger. "This is Captain Maya Reeves of the Earth vessel Phoenix. We are conducting a humanitarian mission to save an endangered sentient species. The Lumiri are facing extinction due to planetary instability. The status of the Lumiri has been determined by Council assessment," the Draconian replied. "Their species has been deemed non-viable. Your interference is not only unauthorized but illegal under galactic law." "We recognize no law that condemns an entire species to death," Maya countered, "especially when that death was caused by deliberate genocide. A genocide your people committed, Commander." The Draconian scales flared in what Maya recognized as anger, or perhaps alarm that they knew this history. "You have 1 standard hour to cease all evacuation activities and depart this system," he hissed. "Failure to comply will result in your vessel's neutralization and Earth sanctions for treaty violation." The transmission cut abruptly, leaving the bridge in tense silence. "Options?" Maya asked, turning to her officers. Security Chief Nakamura spoke first. "Those cruisers outgun us significantly, Captain. Direct confrontation would be suicide." "We could try to outrun them," offered Pilot Officer Rodriguez. "The Phoenix has superior sublight engines. If we loaded as many Lumiri as possible and made a break for it." Maya shook her head. "Too risky for the Lumiri already in transport. Besides, they'd just hunt us down." She turned to Officer Chen. "Send an emergency transmission to Earth Command. Include everything we've learned about the Draconian genocide and the Council's cover-up. Then open a channel to every human colony and outpost within range. The Draconians may not care about public opinion, but Earth does." "Captain," Darian interjected, "that's going to put Earth in an impossible position with the Council." "I'm counting on it," Maya replied grimly. Humanity joined the Council believing in its principles of cooperation and protection. It's time we held them to those principles. As the hour deadline approached, Maya returned to the surface with Dr. Okafor for one final attempt at communication with the Lumiri elders. In a vast underground chamber, the crystalline beings had gathered, thousands of them, their bodies creating a spectacular light display as they pulsed in synchronized patterns. One larger Lumiri floated forward, its form more complex than the others. Maya had come to know this elder as Seraph. "Maya Reeves," the thought voice resonated in her mind. "We sense the danger that has come. The Draconians have returned," Maya confirmed, "and they threaten to attack if we continue helping you." The Lumiri elder pulsed softly. "Then you must leave us. We have survived this long. Perhaps we will find another way." "No," Maya said firmly. "We won't abandon you. But I need to understand something. Why didn't you fight back? The memories you've shared show your people had technologies far beyond even what the Draconians possess now." A wave of sadness emanated from Seraph. "Violence against sentient beings is against our deepest beliefs. Even to save ourselves, we could not destroy others. It is both our greatest strength and our fatal weakness." Layla stepped forward. "The knowledge you possess, is that why they attacked you? What do you know that was worth destroying your entire civilization?" The chamber darkened momentarily before Seraph responded. "We know the truth of all things, Doctor. Our collective memory spans millions of years. We remember the beginning of the Council, the true histories of each member race, the secrets they prefer to keep hidden." A pause. "Including the origins of your own species." Maya felt a chill run down her spine. "Our origins," "This is neither the time nor place," Seraph responded. "But know that humanity's path to the stars was guided by forces you have yet to recognize." Before Maya could press further, her communicator chirped urgently. "Captain." Darian's voice came through, tense and hurried. "The Draconian vessels are powering weapons. They're not waiting for the deadline." Maya locked eyes with Layla. "Get back to the ship. Now." She turned to Seraph. "We need more time." The Lumiri elder pulsed brightly. "Perhaps we can provide it. Though we cannot harm, we can distract." As Maya and Layla raced back to their shuttle, the ground beneath them trembled. Behind them, brilliant beams of light shot upward from the crystalline structures, reaching into the atmosphere and beyond, creating a dazzling display that scrambled sensors and communications across the system. "They're buying us time," Maya realized as they boarded the shuttle. "Lieutenant Shah, status report." "The Draconians are temporarily blinded," Darian replied. "Whatever the Lumiri did, it's created some kind of electromagnetic pulse that's disrupting their targeting systems." "Perfect. Have all available shuttles continue evacuation operations. Focus on getting as many Lumiri to the habitats as possible, and prepare the Phoenix for emergency departure." When Maya returned to the bridge, the situation had evolved further. A new signal was being received, not from the Draconians, but from Earth. "It's Admiral Hernandez," Chen reported, surprise evident in her voice. The Admiral's face appeared on screen, his expression grave but determined. "Captain Reeves, I've received your data packet. The evidence of Draconian genocide and Council complicity is disturbing, to say the least." "Admiral, we're facing imminent attack," Maya reported. "The Draconians won't allow us to evacuate the Lumiri." "I'm aware of your situation, Captain. That's why I'm contacting you directly." Hernandez leaned closer to the camera. "What you've uncovered has forced Earth to reconsider its position. The Council representatives have been evasive when confronted with this evidence." Hope sparked in Maya's chest. "Does that mean we have support?" "Officially, I'm ordering you to stand down and return to Earth for debriefing," Hernandez said, his voice formal. Then his expression softened slightly. "Unofficially, I'm informing you that 3 Earth Defense Fleet vessels are en route to your position, ETA 16 hours. Commodore Singh has full authority to provide humanitarian assistance." Maya understood the careful language. Earth wasn't officially endorsing her actions, but they weren't abandoning the Lumiri either. "Thank you, Admiral." "Don't thank me yet, Captain. This may have far-reaching consequences for Earth's standing in the galaxy." He paused. "Do what you can to avoid direct confrontation until reinforcements arrive." Hernandez out. As the communication ended, the tactical display showed the Draconian vessels regaining functionality. "They're coming around," Nakamura warned. "Weapons powering back up." Maya made her decision. "All evacuation shuttles, return to the Phoenix immediately. Prepare for emergency departure." She turned to Engineer Kowalski. "What's the status of the habitats?" "Modules 1 through 10 are fully operational with approximately 1,200 Lumiri aboard. The remaining modules need at least 6 more hours." "We don't have 6 hours," Maya said grimly. "We'll have to take the modules we have and come back for the rest once Earth reinforcements arrive." The bridge crew exchanged uneasy glances. They all knew what Maya wasn't saying, that they might not be able to return in time, that thousands of Lumiri would be left behind to perish. The Draconian commander hailed them again. "Your deception has only delayed the inevitable. Human, surrender your vessel or face destruction." "We will not surrender," Maya replied calmly. "And we will not leave the Lumiri to die." "Then you have chosen your fate," the Draconian snarled. The enemy vessels began to advance, weapons systems locked on the Phoenix. Maya ordered defensive measures, but knew they couldn't withstand a concentrated attack from 3 Draconian cruisers. Then something unexpected happened. The Lumiri in the habitats began to pulse in unison, creating a resonance pattern that spread to the vessel's systems. The Phoenix's shields suddenly strengthened, glowing with an inner light that hadn't been there before. "Captain, power levels are spiking across all systems," Kowalski reported in amazement. "The Lumiri, they're somehow channeling energy into our shields." The first draconian blasts struck the enhanced shields and dissipated harmlessly. Maya used the opportunity to maneuver the Phoenix away from the planet, the habitat modules secured to its hull. "The Lumiri are protecting us," Layla said softly. "Just as they said they couldn't harm others, they can defend those they choose to help." For hours, the standoff continued. The Phoenix stayed just out of effective weapons range, its enhanced shields absorbing the occasional shot that found its mark. The Draconians, frustrated by their inability to quickly subdue the human vessel, called for reinforcements of their own. "It's going to be close," Darian murmured, watching the tactical display as more draconian signals appeared at the edge of the system. Then, just as the situation seemed most dire, new signatures appeared. The distinctive energy patterns of Earth Defense Fleet vessels dropping out of faster-than-light travel. "Earth vessels are hailing both us and the Draconians," Chen announced. Commodore Priya Singh's stern face appeared on screen. A veteran of the early conflicts that had preceded Earth's admission to the Council, she was known for her diplomatic skill as much as her tactical prowess. "Captain Reeves, I see you've managed to stir up quite the diplomatic incident," she said, though there was a hint of approval in her voice. "Stand by. I'll handle our Draconian friends." The Earth vessels, 3 heavily armed cruisers, positioned themselves between the Phoenix and the Draconian ships. What followed was a tense negotiation that Maya only heard parts of, as Singh deliberately kept some channels private. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, Singh contacted the Phoenix again. "The situation is temporarily stabilized, Captain. The Draconians have agreed to withdraw to the system edge pending a full council hearing on the Lumiri situation." "And the Lumiri still on the planet?" Maya asked urgently. "We've negotiated a temporary protection zone. Earth will maintain a presence here until the Council makes its final determination." Singh's expression turned serious. "But I should warn you, this isn't over. The Council is in uproar over your actions and the evidence you've presented. As long as the Lumiri are safe, that's all that matters," Maya replied. In the days that followed, the story of the Lumiri and humanity's defiance of the Council spread throughout Earth's colonies and beyond. Public opinion overwhelmingly supported the Phoenix crew, with many questioning Earth's continued membership in a council that would condone genocide through inaction. The Council, facing unprecedented scrutiny, was forced to convene an emergency session to address the situation. Maya and key members of her crew were summoned to testify, along with Seraph and other Lumiri representatives. The Great Council chamber on Alpha Centauri was packed with delegates from hundreds of worlds. Maya stood before them, unflinching under their collective gaze. "Captain Maya Reeves," the Council speaker began, "you stand accused of violating Council directive, interfering with a classified species, and inciting interspecies conflict. How do you plead?" Maya looked around the chamber, noting the Draconian delegation glaring at her from their elevated seats. Then she spotted Earth's representatives, led by Admiral Hernandez, who gave her an almost imperceptible nod. "I plead for justice," Maya replied, her voice clear and strong. "Not for myself, but for the Lumiri, a peaceful, advanced civilization that was nearly exterminated in an unprovoked attack, then abandoned by this very council to die out quietly." Murmurs spread through the assembly as Maya continued. "The evidence we've provided proves that the Draconians committed genocide against the Lumiri 3 centuries ago. It also proves that the Council was aware of this crime and chose to classify it as an internal matter rather than hold the perpetrators accountable." The Draconian ambassador rose in objection. "This is outrageous. These accusations are based on the telepathic memories of crystal formations, not on documented evidence. The Lumiri are living beings with an unbroken memory tradition spanning millions of years," Maya countered. Their entire species serves as a biological archive more reliable than any databank. They cannot lie or falsify memories. It is physically impossible for their crystalline structure. Before the debate could escalate further, Seraph floated forward, its crystalline form shimmering in the chamber's light. The assembly fell silent, many delegates seeing a Lumiri for the first time. "We do not seek vengeance." Seraph's thought voice resonated throughout the chamber, somehow audible to all present. "We seek only to survive, to preserve our knowledge, and to share it with those worthy of receiving it." A wave of images washed over the assembly, vivid memories of the Lumiri civilization at its height, of the unprovoked draconian attack, and of the Council's subsequent decision to classify them as non-viable rather than render aid. When the images faded, the chamber remained silent for several long moments. Finally, the Council speaker, visibly shaken, called for a vote on the Lumiri status. The result was not unanimous, but it was decisive. The Lumiri would be reclassified as a protected species, granted asylum within Earth's territories, and provided with resources to establish a new colony on a suitable world. Furthermore, a special committee would be formed to investigate the historical crimes committed against them. As the Phoenix prepared to depart Alpha Centauri, Maya stood in the observation lounge with Seraph, watching the distant stars. "Your people have changed the course of galactic politics," she said softly. "The Council will never be the same. It is humanity that has changed things." Seraph responded, "Your species is young, impetuous by our standards. But you possess something many older races have lost, the courage to stand for what is right, even against overwhelming odds." "We're not always so noble," Maya admitted. "We have our own dark chapters. All species do, but you learn from them, rather than hide them away." Seraph pulsed thoughtfully. "That is why the Lumiri chose to reveal ourselves to you. We have waited centuries for a race that would not only accept our knowledge but use it wisely." Maya turned to face the crystalline being. "You mentioned something about humanity's origins. What did you mean?" "All in good time, Captain. For now, it is enough that we have found each other." Seraph's form brightened. "The galaxy has ignored us both, humanity as newcomers, Lumiri as remnants. Perhaps together, we will forge a new path that cannot be ignored." 6 months later, on a terraformed moon orbiting a stable gas giant, the first permanent Lumiri human settlement was established. Named Sanctuary, it quickly became more than just a refugee haven. It evolved into a center of learning and cultural exchange, unlike anything the galaxy had seen before. The Lumiri shared their vast knowledge selectively, helping humanity advance their technology, while teaching them the wisdom to use it responsibly. In return, humans provided protection and a renewed sense of purpose to the ancient crystal beings. As for Maya Reeves, she declined promotion to Admiral, preferring to remain captain of the Phoenix. There were still thousands of Lumiri scattered across the dying homeworld who needed evacuation, and countless other forgotten species across the galaxy who might need humanity's help. The Galactic Council watched this new alliance with unease, particularly as other marginalized species began seeking Earth's protection rather than Council membership. A new power was emerging in the galaxy, not based on military might or economic dominance, but on the simple principle that all sentient life deserved respect and protection. It was a principle that resonated across the stars, challenging centuries of established order. And it had begun with one human captain who refused to turn her back on those the galaxy had chosen to forget. "We are not forgotten anymore," Seraph told Maya during the Sanctuary founding ceremony. "And neither is humanity's compassion." Maya smiled, watching human and Lumiri children playing together under the gas giant's multicolored rings. The children were especially fascinated by the Lumiri, who could reshape their crystalline forms into fantastic shapes to entertain their new friends. "This is just the beginning," she replied. "There's an entire galaxy out there, filled with wonders we've yet to discover and injustices we've yet to right. And humanity will lead the way." Seraph asked. Maya shook her head. "Not lead. Stand alongside. That's the difference between us and the Council. We don't want to rule the galaxy. We just want everyone in it to have a voice. As the ceremony concluded, news arrived that 3 more species had requested Earth's intervention in their disputes with the Council. The galaxy was changing, power structures shifting as humanity's approach gained traction. The Council had built its authority on pragmatism and compromise, often at the expense of justice. Humanity, with its stubborn idealism and willingness to fight for the forgotten, was offering an alternative vision of galactic society, one where every species, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, had value. It would not be an easy path. The Draconians and their allies continued to resist these changes, seeing them as a threat to their privileged positions. Conflicts would arise, challenges would emerge. But as Maya looked at what they had already accomplished, a dying species saved, an ancient injustice acknowledged, a new beginning forged, she knew they had already won the most important victory. They had proven that compassion was not weakness, that standing for the forgotten took greater courage than abandoning them, and that humanity's place in the stars would be defined not by power or conquest, but by the simple, revolutionary act of caring when no one else would. The galaxy had turned its back, but humanity had chosen to protect, and in doing so, they had changed everything.